Hello everyone, this is Dual Blog. This is part 2 of the Dark Wind vs. Crap game. If you have not watched the first part of this match, I suggest you do. It explains a lot. But basically, this is a game where my opponent, Deoxys75, is playing a deck full of crap. It is terrible. He's playing awful cards like Yellow Luster Shield, which is currently in play. And yeah, just really bad monsters. He was trying to make a fish deck, I'm pretty sure. But it really did not turn out well at all. I don't know really what he was doing. He's a good player. He plays good tournament level decks like Lightsworn a lot. Or just good decks. But this time he was just, I really have no idea what he was doing. But I was playing a Dark Wind deck. So yeah, it's basically a deck based around dark and wind type monsters. And right there on the field you can see the key card of the deck. The the core of the deck is Dark Simorgh. It's a new card, and it's fantastic. I love it a lot. You can special summon it from your hand or graveyard by removing dark and wind type monsters. And it prevents the opponent from setting any cards on the field, plus it has 2700 attack. Okay, so what's just happened is my opponent has a Yellow Luster Shield, which is awful, and I'm attacking his, I think it's a Crystal Beast Emerald Tortoise with my Mist Valley Soldier. Mist Valley Soldier is excellent for this deck. Not only is he a wind-type monster, but he's a 4-star tuner with a good amount of attack. His effect is excellent because you can just ram him into Synchro Monsters and put those the Synchro Monster back in their extra deck. So he has a lot of uses. He's very, very good. And he's also a Winged Beast type monster, like many of the monsters in this deck, because you play a trap card called Icarus Attack, and what it does is you tribute a Winged Beast monster and destroy any 2 cards in the field. And you have 3 of those in your deck. So, yeah. All the Winged Beast monsters in this deck serve double duty as Dark and Wind monsters for Simorgh, and they also work with Icarus Attack very well. So my opponent's thinking. I have a hand with 4 cards, and yeah, I'm pretty much set up. I mean, playing a Royal Swamp Eel is not going to win in this game. Here he's just ramming it into my Mist Valley Soldier and suiciding. But that's fine with me because, I'm getting a Dark Simorgh in one more turn, and I get a Lure of Darkness here. I'm deciding what to remove. I was going to remove Blackwing Gale, and I just decided, you know what, Sangan's really not going to do a lot for me this game, so well, yeah, I'm gonna remove Sangan. This deck does take some skill to play. You gotta know when to play your Simorgh, when it's best to attack with your big monsters. The most important thing with this deck is just knowing when to not overextend, because you can special summon so many of your monsters that it's pretty easy to overcommit. And just swarm, and then they'll activate something like Torrential Tribute, and you'll just completely get destroyed. So, yeah. So I've just attacked him with Spirit Reaper. He's discarded a card, and it's of no real relevance. And yeah, I'm just passing the turn. I've got a good hand. I'm getting Dark Simorgh next turn, which I can play. I've got a hand with like Gores, Ryza. So yeah. This deck, I think, is definitely tournament level. It's a very, very good deck. Dark Simorgh is becoming more popular. People are realizing how good it is since it's a new card. But, there's a lot of cards in this deck that are just sort of established as being good. Like, I have Dark Arm Dragon, I have Gores, some Monarchs, I have some Blackwings that are good, like Sirocco, Shura, Vayu. I have Gale, of course. So yeah, it's mostly like a good stuff kind of deck, but it's very effective. So here, yeah, I'm just tributing my Spirit Reaper, playing Ryza, to bounce his monster back on the top of his deck. I was actually chatting on the phone with Deoxys while we were playing this game, so I really didn't have to type a lot of what I was doing. We just sort of talked back and forth. But yeah, he was very angry at that because he knew I could play my Dark Simorgh. You know, he was taking a ton of damage very soon, so yeah. I actually just passed a turn here instead of, you know, playing Dark Simorgh and attacking because I have a Torrential Tribute face down. My plan is pretty much just to, you know, Torrential Tribute when he plays a guy, blow up everything, then remove my Ryza and another Dark Monster in my grave next turn to play Simorgh. He just sets something face down. Doesn't really matter to me because here I'm just, you know, here I actually, instead of, you know, doing the plan by playing, you know, my plan was to Torrential Tribute and then play Simorgh, but instead of that plan, I'm actually just gonna, you know, play my tuner Gale and Synchro for Hyper Psychic Blaster. I thought about this one quite a bit because Simorgh pretty much locks him down because he has to play all his monsters and attack, and then I can just beat the crap out of him. But Hyper Psychic Blaster is so good in this situation. He pierces, he'll gain me a ton of life points, and yeah. I'm still laughing at my opponent for playing Yellow Luster Shield. I mean, that card's just so awful. And I mean, Royal Swamp Eel, if you look closely, his deck, he has no extra deck. So his Royal Swamp Eels, the fact that they're tuners is completely useless. They're just bad 4-stars with only 1700 attack and nothing else. So yeah, I just attack with my Hyper Psychic Blaster into his guy. Turns out to be some like random fish, I think. Because of the playback quality on Windows Movie Maker, which I'm narrating this on, I can't really read the names of the cards on the screen because it's pretty poor quality, but I'm trying my best, so forgive me if I get some of the cards wrong here. I think he has like, what is that, Obsidian Dragon? And yeah, it does nothing. I'm just beating in, and I'm, yeah. Got my Psychic Blaster there to his Yellow Luster Shield. Although he does have a handful of 5 cards, but I don't really care. He's just setting something and saying go. Yep, draw Icarus Attack. Excellent card. Like I talked about in the first part of this video. Basically, it's a 2-for-2. You just tribute a monster and use your Icarus Attack to kill any of their 2 cards, but 2-for-2ing in this deck is very good. Normally, I would not play Icarus Attack in a deck with like even in a committed Winged Beast deck. I think that you shouldn't necessarily run 3 Icarus Attack, because if your opponent can kill your monsters consistently, it can be a dead draw a lot of the time. In this deck, though, it's excellent because oftentimes I'll just use it with like a Dark Simorgh, and since Simorgh can be special summoned from your graveyard, even if you just draw Icarus off the top, you can still, like, you know, remove a Dark and a Wind in your hand, get Simorgh, and then blow up 2 cards. So it has a lot of uses. Okay, so we're coming to the end of this game here. I'm just basically asking him, is this game? I mean, you seem to have nothing else, and I have 5,700 damage in attacks coming to you next turn, I mean, I'm just gonna beat the crap out of you. You're dead next turn. So, is this it? Are you done? He's just like, I surrender.